We advertised a surprise. We're going to try and meet that expectation. Some of our clients and audience is not going to have any clue where we're at.
That's right, Aaron.
It's so that's your surprise for today.
It's Aaron's basement. No.
Nice digs.
Yeah.
No, we are coming to you live from Podium Studios in Marietta, Georgia. If you are a watcher or listener of the podcast,
and you should be.
And you should be.
This is a fairly familiar space for you, and we're so excited that you're here with us today for our first coffee break of 2025. We do realize with this week having a lot of exciting contests being played, football, basketball on the national level with the inauguration. We do want to remind you, we are agnostic. We are not any team. We are not any party today. This is not a political conversation, but there are things that we're going to talk about that will come from the trajectory and the possible outcomes and futures that we would be looking forward to in 2025. Guys, what do you think about this as opposed to the Zoom and
I'm really excited about this. I think this is really cool to be able to, be live, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Like this is really excellent. I love the opportunity to kind of share the message across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like? We can't retake it. This is it.
That's right.
This as opposed to the podcast. Now that's it. You've taken away some of the magic, Randy. There are several times where they have to say, all right, Calhoun, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Try again.
It's usually not Calhoun.
Yeah, no outtakes this time.
No outtakes.
Yeah, it's
no
one to go.
Well, Nick, you want to lead us in, get us started?
Yeah, well, first off, it is coffee break, Randy. So, what's coffee break without coffee? We did something really cool this year. We actually worked with a local coffee shop, Cool Beans, here in Marietta, Georgia, and we came up with our own roast. And so it's a little sweet, it's a little bold, it's nice, it hits all the notes. All the notes. Am I sweet or nice?
I don't know. Let's
go. Okay, all right. So this is the Retiree Roast. And so if you're interested in trying out our Retiree Roast, we offer this in our office, but we also, if you'd like some, reach out to us, connect at yourretirementcoach.com. Love to get some good whole bean Retiree Roast in your hands.
We've got some great feedback on that. So in light of the coffee break, hopefully your mug is warm and your mind is coachable.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So today, we're going to really be short and to the point, with coffee breaks. These are generally 20, 25 minutes of just getting down to business. And so today we're going to talk taxes. We're going to talk vaguely about politics, more so about potential outcomes of 2025 and beyond. And then we're going to delve into some things that could really matter to pre-retirees and retirees. So we've got a full slate ahead, lots of great information, and glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah. I just want to say, one of the things that came about as we were thinking about the changes that are happening and potential changes that are happening is as we ended 2024, I think one of the things that occurred to us is the idea that maybe 2024 was the big opportunity to be aggressive with some tax planning, to do some things because we had no idea how the outcome of the election was going to be.
Sure.
It seems like that's a consistent theme every 4 years. We have no idea what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
So like Aaron said, we try to be agnostic about this because we have clients that sit on both sides in terms of what they feel is the right direction. But our job as a firm is to find out what the opportunities are, no matter who's in office. And I think one thing that I would look at as far as an opportunity goes, with President Trump taking office and with the direction of some of the things that he's saying, it would seem more realistic that some of the opportunities to do advanced tax planning will exist maybe for the next 4 years. So that means what we are trying to cram in and get done towards the end of 24, probably we have another 4 years to really be smart about what our tax planning might be because of the direction that this administration would seem to take based on their history and, all of the conversations that are built around, the Trump presidency.
Well, and Randy, it's been said before, many times, I know we say it often, one of the safest and easiest ways to increase the return on someone's money is to cut their tax bill. Right. And we really worked hard, in our firm over the last few years of trying to put together these 3 and 5 year tax plans for clients and looking at the opportunity possibly coming to a close in terms of, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act set to expire at the end of this year. But with the new Trump administration, we certainly could see 4 more years of opportunity to help clients further tax diversify. Yeah. And that's an exciting prospect,
Yeah, let me kind of put that in perspective. So I've had 2 speaking engagements recently with new groups of people that I haven't had before. And a question I often ask them is what they think of the future. If they're looking out the next 5 to 10 years, do they think tax rates are going to be lower in the future, about the same, or go up? And 90+% of both of those, and consistently for the next several years, most people feel like tax rates are going to go up. Yeah. So I think what we have is a potential of a reprieve of that, where we've got some time to do some more advanced planning, because the theory behind what Nick's saying about the safest way to really get real return on your money is to pay less taxes so you can keep more of your money. So if we're deferring a lot of money into the future and we think tax rates are going to be higher, then that doesn't really make sense. So this window of opportunity for people that it fits, and it doesn't fit everybody, but there may be some tools and strategies, opportunities that will exist in the next 4 years, regardless of your politics, where you maybe could take advantage of what these rules are to make your life and your future for you and your next generation more tax efficient. And so that's one of the things that we're going to focus on as a firm.
Yeah.
So why don't we delve into some of that?
Well, yeah, and I think, why don't we actually, this is a perfect segue to really of start. When you're on, you're on. So let's talk about income taxes. And so this is, we're going to approach this from the standpoint, nothing is set in stone.
Right.
Right. So this is the outlook. This is what we're dealing with, fresh start of the year. And so tax brackets and rates. Okay, so likely we're going to continue to see lower rates, but what I am excited about, Randy, is this prospect that they could actually simplify rates, and instead of having 20,000 different rates, right, in different brackets, there's actually talk about going to a 3-tier system.
Well, that would be great, and I will believe that when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's being floated around right now is a 10%, 20%, and 30% rate. Like you, I'm extremely skeptical. But, it also reminds me of, do you remember when Herman Cain was running for president? He has 999 plan. If it's too simple, it's just not going to pass, right?
Rest in peace.
That's right. That's right. Next, possible focus on middle income taxpayers. And really the focus with the income tax rates is to create more disposable income so they can spend more. The whole idea of Reaganomics back in the day, spending driving an economy, looking at our vast middle class today, how do we get more money in their hands to spend more and drive our economy?
Yeah, and we can't skip this, but it's not really in our conversation today, but a big thing that I think caused President Trump to get elected again was inflation. And in reality, when we think about taxes, this isn't called a tax, but inflation is a tax that really dramatically impacts poor and middle Americans, making everything cost more. And so you got to realize poor people often don't have assets that can appreciate, like real estate and stocks and things that might have gotten advantages over the last few years of an increase in value. Yeah. All they've got is the increase in cost. So, and that's not what we're solving right now. I think it should be a target for this administration, but it's not going to be our conversation.
Well, yeah, and what you're bringing up is real talk. I mean, off script, you're 100% right. There are people in real need right now that have just gotten smashed with inflation. Right. So,
and I'm not 100%. Supposed to go off script, right? Okay, good.
Hold on, right, but we know you, we love you, and we plan for that to happen. That's right. So next up is the standard deduction. So we anticipate that we could see a continued increase in the standard deduction, which is so high. I mean, a lot of clients have not had to itemize in so many years, they probably forgot how to, just because the standard deduction's been so good. So we do anticipate that to increase. But, you know, I am a little concerned about things like, you know, what it looks like with the SALT cap, what it looks like with mortgage interest deductions. So we'll wait and see. But, you know, those people that are in those higher tax states, they're kind of continuing to get penalized in that way.
And again, not that anybody's concerned about it, but the wealthier people are the ones that probably got the biggest tax hit there and did some of the complaining in that area. But I do think this leads to the theme that's going to be throughout today's coffee break, which is pay attention to the changes we're going to. And when you're meeting with your financial professionals, when you're doing your review, let's take a look at some of these changes as they really do get put on paper and seem to pass through the smell test and make it to real legislation.
Right.
How does this impact you?
Yeah.
Plan for today, but be aware of tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
Good. Hey, can we trademark that? No? Or a T-shirt? Okay. Retirement income and investment-related taxes. Now, here's the deal. There is a nice proposal about cutting our capital gains rates and the tax rates on dividends. This could certainly benefit retirees that are living on those types of assets. You know, again, less tax, more money in your pocket. You know, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So that would really help a lot of retirees.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Okay. So first of all, I've lost my earpiece, so I can't hear.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, one of the interesting things, this is an ongoing argument, does lowering capital gain and dividends rate, especially capital gains rate, how does that impact tax revenues? Like, in other words, if we raise capital gains, we're raising more revenue, that's going to pay down the deficit, you know, baloney. But one of the things that does occur is if you make capital gains so high, people don't actually trade or sell securities. And so even though the rate, if they sell it, is higher, you lessen the number of people willing to do that. So they hold on to securities, which, again, think of money flowing through the system as where it generates. Think of all the things you pay tax on, you know, all these, any transaction that you do is a constant tax, including selling assets that are appreciated as a capital gain. So the last time we did a lowering of the capital gains rate, I think it was back in Bush number 2.
George W.
Right, George W. Bush. And actually lowered it, got a lot of criticism, but actually what happened is IRS raised more revenue with a lower rate. Now, we're not going to get into what would actually happen, but any of these changes could be significant in terms of how people position themselves.
Well, and I think that's the thing that we have to keep in mind. There's nothing that's going to be net neutral. Right. It's either going to be a net benefit or net takeaway, you know, a positive or negative, whatever they do, you know, anytime you take action, there is going to be a consequence, positive or negative.
Look at that.
Could we put that on a T-shirt? All right.
I think somebody's already done that one.
All right. Social Security and Medicare. I mean, and going back to retirement income and investment taxes, there is this argument right now that is around required minimum distributions for IRAs and 401ks, and whether or not, you know, there's going to be some implemented changes based on, you know, the mortality tables that they use, et cetera, because we are living so much longer. So that's on the table. Social Security and Medicare. So there's no immediate cuts expected, but there are certainly discussions for reform right now. No one really wants to touch this stuff, right? I mean,
maybe somebody who's in office who can't get elected again.
Yeah, that's, well, fair. Retirees do need to potentially plan for potential benefit changes after 2030. And I know we'll get into the legislation that was signed by President Biden right before he left office related to Social Security. However, the big one I think that's interesting is for people 40 and younger. The talk is to take their full retirement age instead of like age 67 or 68 to age 70. So not a massive change, but again, that could potentially increase the longevity of our Social Security funds.
Well, and it kind of makes sense for the purpose of which Social Security was initially put in place. And it even is broader than that today, even if you went to 70. We've already seen this change over the years. So that's probably not palatable to anybody and if you're under 40. But for most Americans, it probably would be something that makes sense if you want to keep the system in effect.
Yeah. Well, so again, there's lots there, Aaron.
Absolutely. One of the other areas that I wanted us to talk about, Randy, for many of our clients, they are very legacy inclined.
Yep.
They want to be a generational or a multi-generational blessing. And there's some things that have come out of this that clients in that area need to be aware of as well. Could you kind of talk us through some of the anticipated estate tax?
I think really it's kind of the direction that the country is going. So first of all, again, if I ask that question, are taxes going to go higher? Well, a great place to get taxes are from dead people. Right, because they don't vote anymore. Well, supposedly they don't vote anymore. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
You could help
it.
You could help it.
We need a disclaimer here, but we'll keep going.
But in reality, whether they vote or not vote, disproportionately they don't vote.
Correct.
And so one of the ways that we've looked at how do we raise revenue is, a lot of times we've made the wealthier in our country kind of the enemy of the common man, that somehow by what they're doing, it's hurting middle America or lower income America, which I don't particularly believe in. I think there's room for abuse everywhere. But one of the things that the Trump administration has been, kind of in favor of is the elimination of estate taxes. So right now we have a massive, exempt amount from when I started, which was $600,000 to about $14 million today. Right. So $600,000 you could leave to anybody without estate taxes, now close to $14 million. So let's just keep that in perspective. That theme of eliminating estate taxes or keeping it high, at least for the next 4 years, probably is something to think about.
Well, and let's think about this also, Randy. Estate taxes have been voted away permanently.
Yeah.
Permanently. I don't think Washington knows what the word permanently means.
That's what you put in your hair.
3 times, right? 3 times they've been voted away permanently. Yeah, and, they've come back each time when we've been in war.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we need to be aware of is diversification of the tools that we have. And again, a lot of people don't feel like they have a need to do advanced estate planning. So a mistake in this area could be thinking that it's all good, don't worry about it. And then you realize through inflation and longevity that your estate actually grows to a place where it could be subject to estate taxes, especially if we lower the amount that you can exempt, which conversations where maybe that would go down had the election gone a little bit differently to 3 million or even 5 or 6 million. I don't know what that would really be. It's all speculation right now. Yeah. I do think, though, that opens up an opportunity where maybe some additional gifting can be done. So people who are well off, who may want to shift some of their wealth to children or a spouse outside, freeze that amount of money. Again, not a big conversation for our average listener, but pay attention to this. If you're if somebody who's accumulating still, doing very well, that could be an issue.
Well, and Randy, I think that's actually one of the initiatives that I've heard a lot about is loosening up the rules around gifting to try to allow for the more transfer of wealth to get to those middle class to spend more money.
And so there's a trade-off there too. Typically when you gift an asset, you gift the basis with it. So Aaron, if I were to give you $100,000 worth of stock, and I'm not, but if I was to give you that and I paid $10,000 for it, that $90,000 worth of gain would be your gain too. So even though I gifted it, if you sold that, you would still have capital gain.
Right.
However, if I die and leave it to you, and I'm not doing that either, but if I did, then at my date of death under the current law, that $100,000 with a $10,000 basis would get stepped up to the $100,000.
Right.
So I think that is more likely to stay in effect. And for purposes of understanding estate planning, sometimes you've got to look at that trade-off between gifting assets and freezing them and the future appreciation versus, holding them in your estate and passing away and getting a step up in basis. And by the way, don't have time for all the conversation around this, but people make a mistake in this area over and over again by putting people's name on title, splitting
It's
accounts,
huge.
not understanding how that works, even between a husband and wife. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this, see what these new rules might be, see if there are changes, but certainly more favorable for more affluent and more favorable for advanced estate planning
and
today.
for our audience, here's what I would share with you. I mean, this is really what Randy just shared with you is huge. Just be aware that it is a real potential issue that if you add somebody's name to a title, like a child's name, or you have done anything where you've said, you know what, this child's going to distribute at my death everything, you've got some real potential gift tax issues there. You've taken on the liability potentially of your children. Don't do it. There's other ways to maintain control of assets without adding someone's name to it.
No, that's so good. That's so good. So we've talked about things that affect the retirees, people that are thinking legacy-minded in their estate. Nick, what about the wage earners? What about people that are actually out there punching in, doing those kind of things? Anything we want to be aware of?
Well, they're going back in the office.
They are.
So there's a lot of proposals on, more tax cuts, which could increase, take-home pay. There is, again, this desire to boost consumer spending. It keeps coming back to that, but that is really one of the big ways they're trying to kind of re-engage and re-gear, our economy to get moving again. They are looking at also simplifying deductions. So, if you're a wage earner today and you're looking at your income, you're going to want to work closely with your financial professionals and your tax professionals so you really understand and you don't want to leave money on the table, right? And then lastly, I think a lot of these tax reforms that are being proposed, which we can do a deeper dive another day, it is really to incentivize job creation. And I love the focus, as a small business owner, Randy, and a family business, small businesses employ more people than anywhere across our country. And to really kind of loosen up the reins on them, allow for them to continue to grow, expand, and add more people to their labor force, that is, I think, such a huge opportunity. So I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these proposals actually look like as they continue to formulate.
Awesome. Randy, let's take a double dip for those of our clients that deserve it the most, the retirees.
Yeah.
Some of the expert advice that we've got for 2025, you want to share that with us for that group?
So let me start with a big picture, and that is, regardless of our belief, one way or another, there's kind of like two schools of thought, a lot of which is coming out in the conversation today. One is that the government and its powers and its tools and its resources will take better care of us than we'll take care of ourselves. Not making an argument for or against that, but that is, typically been bigger government, more benefits, et cetera. And so if you're thinking about what the next 4 years look like or potentially look like, think about potentially smaller government, including, a new government agency, right?
Yeah, the agency of efficiency or something like that, right?
So, I love the idea of making government more effective and efficient. But the other thing is putting more of the resources in the hands of the consumer. So if the consumer is spending more money because they have more money, driving revenue in a different form of gathering taxes. Now, you can have two economists argue this all day long, like which is the better way to get the support that people need. But it doesn't matter what you think or what I think. The direction that we're going is hopefully, if I'm reading it right, is fewer regulations, more incentive on growing the economy, and more money in people's pockets, whether that is, for example, with Social Security and its taxability and things like that, which I'll let Nick kind of go over a little bit of that at the end. But in looking at like what should retirees do right now, well, one thing is review your existing legal documents. What provisions you've got. When's the last time you updated your will, your trust, your power of attorney? Many states have adopted statutory documents for healthcare and for financial powers of attorney. Many people have had major changes in their life that would affect how they were doing their estate planning. Tell you a quick story just to give you an example using what we've already talked about. So there's a wonderful law firm. I know the firm locally, and they worked with a mutual client. And when that client came to us, he'd already done his estate planning documents. And one of the things that he did is it was a second marriage. He'd lost his first wife. He had 3 children. And what he was doing, the exempt amount at that time was $600,000 you could leave to anybody without estate taxes. And then anything above that, you could use something called a Q-tip provision. So you could leave it to the new spouse. She could enjoy it her lifetime. And then when she died, it would go back into the estate and it would go to the children, okay, the 3 children in this case. The way that document was read, just to make sure you understand how important these documents can be and how you title things, is the attorney drafted it so that anything above the unified credit, which again at the time was $600,000, so the doctor had an estate of about $1.5 million. So he was leaving the $600,000 he could do estate tax free to anybody, to his 3 children, and anything above that was going to his second bride, his spouse that he was married to. What happened during that period of time, with nobody reviewing it until we got a hold of it, is the estate tax exempt amount went up to over $5 million. And so if he had passed away without being looked at that, his second spouse would have gotten zero. All of the money would have went, which wasn't his intent. And that's an example of why you have to pay really good attention to these things.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I mean,
no, you're good.
At the end of the day, and I know we're running short on time here, but estate planning has to be a focus, and it can't be lost on you that the will that you did 20 years ago is going to work in today's environment.
Yeah, summary of that.
You got to revise that.
Summary of that is estate planning documents are the house being built. The blueprint is the planning. The planning is making sure you know what it is that you want and that the documents actually create that. The other one is diversifying our income. I think it makes sense. We don't know what the future tax laws will be. Obviously, by this last election, we didn't know what direction it was going. Certainly, I think the big conversation in the media has been how overwhelming the win was for the Trump administration. Whether you like that or hate that, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that wasn't necessarily what the media was calling for whatever reason. But what it does mean is you never know what direction things are going to go, what direction the wind's going to go. So here we're in North Atlanta, and we got no snow, but Florida got snow. So how about that? So you never know which way the wind's blowing. But that last part of that is really look at working with your financial professionals to diversify the resources that you have, how they're taxed, and have a game plan so that when the rules change, and they will change, that's the one thing for sure. When the rules change, you're not completely upset because you've got all your money in one kind of bucket versus another kind of bucket.
Well, so I think that is, really sound advice, and really, if you're retired or pre-retired, I mean, you've got to think about these things. We have just recorded a really powerful podcast that addresses Social Security, including President Biden's Social Security Fairness Act. And so for our audience today, my encouragement to you, because I want to spend a little bit of time on sectors of what's going on in the economy, check out that podcast. You can find it at our YouTube channel, and the podcast / video is Coffee with Your Retirement Coach. Go check it out. It's a great, 30, 40-minute update. And if you like us, we could email you the link, connect@yourretirementcoach.com. Randy, really so many people are, wondering what the outlook is today when we think about the markets. We think about what is happening. Don't tell me, what could, would, or should happen. Those are dangerous words when we think about our investing. But I know you're a big believer, and you coined a term called fact-based investing, which is what we preach and what we practice at our own firm. So if you don't mind, maybe you could hit some high points as to some of the movement that's occurring today. And for our audience, this is not investment advice. Okay, we are not recommending anything. This is for education and entertainment purposes only, and I know legal will be proud of that. So go ahead.
So just, if you kind of looked at the world's investment opportunity, with the exception of things that we're going to put offside of the radar, the major asset classes that people think about when they think about investing are pretty much cash, real estate, stocks, and bonds. And if you're looking at them in a broad sense, what's going on right now? Well, the U.S. equity market is dominant with all asset classes positive. Okay, and what's recently occurred over the last 2 months is the international market went negative in our system. So again, fact-based.
And again, when you're saying positive and negative, you're not talking about return. You're talking about the metrics that you use to try to determine where things are.
So where's the strength of the market? So
Right.
Where's the strength and where's the weakness? So, just recently we saw international drop in its ranking further than it was. And we already had a minimum exposure there as a firm. But right now what we're seeing is the number one asset class in strength, and the facts that we look to be U.S. equities. Close behind that is bonds, and then real estate and international stocks are the weakest of the four that we're talking about. From a sector standpoint, the sectors that we like that have the greatest strength right now are consumer durables, their telecom, their financial services, and their technology. So if you're looking at it from a sectors of the economy, what makes up, let's say, the S&P 500 or the Russell 1000, those are where the strengths are. Obviously, we're seeing some new emphasis in alternative investments, which we won't talk about today because that's a whole episode at some point in time.
Yeah.
But certainly be on the lookout for changes in terms of how things will flow through.
Yeah. So, Randy, thanks for sharing that. And so, for our audience, if you want to hear more about, some of the changes that are going on in our markets, our economy, things that we're paying attention to as we continue to make changes in our investments and the fact-based modeling that we use, again, you can reach out at connect@yourretirementcoach.com.
That's good. Listen, I just want to kind of close with this. These kind of topics that we're talking about, they're going to bring opportunities, they're going to bring challenges, but with the ideas of elimination of taxes on Social Security benefits, increased support for elder care, fairness for public servants, what a great step forward for improving retirement security. These are exciting things that we want to not be asleep at the wheel at. And like Randy said, there is a review that is necessary for many of us on our personal side, on our home side, working with a professional in those areas, tax professionals, attorneys, whatever's appropriate for the different topics that we discussed. Make sure that you're ready, that you, much like when you go to the doctor's office and you put on that paper gown, we get vulnerable and we let it all hang out.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You do not have to wear a paper gown in our office. As a matter of fact, we prefer you did.
No, at the CPA's office.
I don't want to see that.
Jeez. Raise your gaze. Consult wise counsel. Listen, if an idea or a concept today has sparked a thought or a question, if you're a client of ours, we want you to reach out to your team at Yeomans. You know who they are. If you're not, like Nick said, connect@yourretirementcoach.com. Also, we'd love to hear from you. Moving this from Zoom to YouTube, we felt like it was a no-brainer. We're so appreciative of the team here at Podium to help us make that shift. Want to thank you for being here, being present, and for being coachable. We hope you enjoyed today's show, but you may have questions for our coaches, and they can be emailed at connect@yourretirementcoach.com. If you know someone that needs to hear this episode, we encourage you to share it. As a reminder, the content of this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as advice. On behalf of our coaches, we want to thank you for listening and for being coachable.
Yeomans Consulting Group, a registered investment advisor YouTube channel based in Marietta, Georgia. We strive to provide comprehensive wealth management services for every stage of the journey. This platform is solely for informational purposes and is not offering advisory services or sales of securities. Investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. Comments by viewers or recognitions are no guarantee of future investment outcomes and do not ensure that a viewer will experience a higher level of performance or results. Public comments posted on this site are not selected, amended, deleted, or sorted in any way. If applicable, certain editing of personal, identifiable information and misinformation may be deleted. The opinions expressed herein are as of the date of publication and are subject to revision due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. This podcast was filmed at Podium Studios at Marietta Square. Grow your business with turnkey, professional quality podcasting, live streaming, and online events. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about anything. Just come in and record. Learn more at thepodium.studio. Step up to the podium.